Have you ever imagined a desert powering an entire nation? China's clean energy surge is turning that fantasy into reality. Barren sands now host massive solar fields that also heal the land. But this is just the start. From dual-tower heat traps to green computing hubs, the transformation is breathtaking. Before we dive deeper, please hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell. You won't want to miss our next breakthrough in cutting-edge technology. This massive project sits in the shifting Tengger Desert. It does two things at once. It generates renewable power while fixing damaged land. The first step is simple but clever. Workers stabilize the moving dunes using old-school sand-fixing methods. Think of straw grids and barriers. These hold the sand in place. Only then do they install the solar panels. Once the ground is solid, they plant tough grasses like Mongolian wheatgrass. These plants grow under and around the panels. Over time, they improve the soil. This approach is called photovoltaic agriculture. It is a smart way to use land for two purposes. You get electricity from the sun. You also get a healing desert. The scale is huge. The base can produce tens of millions of kilowatts. That is enough to light up millions of homes. But the real magic is underground. The panels shade the soil. Less water evaporates, plants survive longer. The desert slowly turns green. China's clean energy surge here proves that industry and nature can work together. It is not just about power. It is about bringing dead land back to life. Out in the harsh Gobi Desert, engineers have done something never seen before. They built the world's first dual-tower concentrated solar power plant. This is not your typical solar farm. Instead of flat panels, it uses tens of thousands of mirrors. Each mirror is highly reflective. They move throughout the day, always facing the sun. The mirrors focus sunlight onto two tall towers. Inside those towers are huge tanks filled with molten salt. The salt gets extremely hot. It stays hot for hours, even after sunset. That means the plant can keep making electricity at night. Traditional single-tower designs lose efficiency, but two towers working together capture more heat. They also store more energy. This trial run is a big deal. It aims to produce billions of kilowatt-hours every year. That kind of power can run entire cities sustainably. High in northwest China, Qinghai province is doing something unusual. It is turning wind and sun into computing power. Think about it. Data centers need huge amounts of electricity. Normally, that electricity comes from coal, but here they use a special dispatching center. This center watches the weather and the grid in real time. When the sun shines or wind blows, it sends that renewable energy directly to computer servers. The result? Most of the region's data facilities run on clean power. Carbon emissions drop sharply, but there is more. This system also connects different provinces. Imagine eastern cities facing a power shortage or high electricity prices. At that moment, Qinghai's green energy steps in. The western region handles the computing workload remotely. It is like a real-time energy swap. Inner Mongolia is famous for its grasslands and also its spreading deserts. Now, it is becoming famous for something else. A massive rollout of solar panels is changing the landscape. But here's the twist. The panels are not just making electricity. They are helping the desert heal. Engineers install them high off the ground. They also leave wide spaces between rows. Why? Because that creates a sheltered microclimate. Wind slows down, shade cools the ground, moisture stays longer. Native plants begin to creep back. Grasses and small bushes take root. This is a dual-purpose infrastructure. On one hand, it boosts the nation's power capacity. Gigawatts of clean energy flow to cities. On the other hand, it fights desertification. The creeping sands stop advancing. China's clean energy surge is not about conquering nature. It is about working with it. The panels act like artificial trees. they provide shelter, they generate value, and over time, the barren sand turns into a productive ecosystem. This is not a small test. It is happening across huge areas. Each solar farm becomes a green island. Insects return, birds follow, the land recovers, people living nearby see real change. Deep in the Tarim Desert, a blue ocean has appeared. But it is not water. It is a sea of photovoltaic panels. They stretch across the sand as far as you can see. This is in Kashi Prefecture, Xinjiang. The sun here is intense. The land is empty. Perfect conditions for large-scale solar power. In just 5 months, workers built a 500,000 kilowatt plant. It sits right in the heart of the desert. The Tarim Oilfield Desert Photovoltaic Power Plant did not exist. Then, suddenly, it did. But building it was not easy. First, they had to stop the wind from burying everything. They used sand stabilization techniques. Then, they put down panels. Now, the plant does 3 big jobs. It generates clean electricity, it holds the sand in place, and it improves local life. Villages nearby get reliable power. New jobs appear. The local economy gets a boost. China's clean energy surge is injecting life into this remote region. The photovoltaic sea is not just a power plant. It is a symbol. It shows that even the harshest places can become productive. The desert once seemed dead. Now it hums with energy. Quiet, clean, endless. This project proves that speed and scale are possible when you have clear goals. Qinghai's Gobi Desert is windy and empty, but now it hosts one of the world's biggest solar parks. It is called Talatan Solar Park. The size is hard to believe. It covers an area nearly as large as Singapore. That is 7 times bigger than Manhattan. And they plan to expand even more. Why here? The elevation is high, the air is thin. That makes solar panels more efficient. The landscape is flat, few people live nearby, so there is plenty of room. Millions of panels cover the ground. They generate vast amounts of power. That power travels hundreds of kilometers through ultra-high voltage lines. Those lines send electricity to major cities with almost no loss. But here is the surprising part. The solar farm is also creating unexpected green life. The panels block the wind. They provide shade. Moisture builds up under them. Grass and small shrubs have started growing. The desert is turning slightly green. This is a carbon-neutral energy project with a bonus. It integrates hydropower, wind, and geothermal sources too. But solar is the star. China's clean energy surge is turning a barren wasteland into a productive asset. And along the way, nature is getting a helping hand. China just launched a first-of-its-kind project. It directly links renewable power generation with massive computing infrastructure. Think of huge data centers. They need constant electricity. Usually, that electricity comes from polluting sources. Not here. This new initiative uses solar and wind farms in the Northwest. Those farms supply clean electricity directly to large data clusters. Why does that matter? Because it lowers costs for tech companies. It also reduces carbon footprints, and it solves a big problem. Eastern China has many data centers but limited clean power. Western China has abundant sun and wind but fewer customers. This project connects the two. It is a strategic move. It optimizes resource distribution across the country. China's clean energy surge is not just about making green power. It is about delivering it to the right place at the right time. The digital economy is growing fast. Artificial intelligence, cloud storage, streaming services, all of them eat electricity. If that electricity comes from coal, the planet loses. But if it comes from desert sun, everyone wins. Xinjiang is vast. It is sunny, it is windy, and now it is becoming one of China's main clean energy engines. The region has huge solar and wind resources. Developers are building massive farms across the desert. These farms deliver social, environmental, and economic benefits. Local people get jobs, the air gets cleaner, and the nation moves closer to its dual carbon goals. China's clean energy surge here is rapid. Rows of panels cover old sand dunes, wind turbines spin on empty plains. The electricity flows eastward to power factories and homes. But the benefits stay local too. New roads, new schools, new opportunities. Back to Qinghai's Gobi Desert. The Talatan Solar Park is a marvel of modern engineering. Millions of panels stretch across the dusty ground. The park covers a huge area. It is nearly the size of a small country. Yet it operates silently. No moving parts, no smoke, just steady, clean electricity. The high altitude helps. Thinner air means more sunlight reaches the panels. The flat land makes installation easy. And the sparse population means no one complains about the view. But the park is not just about power, it is also about integration. Hydro, wind, and geothermal sources work alongside solar. Together, they create a reliable mix. When the sun sets, other sources kick in. The energy travels through ultra-high voltage lines. Those lines are a technological wonder. They lose very little power over long distances. So, a city thousands of kilometers away gets Gobi sunshine. China's clean energy surge depends on this park. It is a symbol of what is possible. Barren land becomes valuable, harsh conditions become an advantage, and the ecosystem slowly recovers.